In this video, I'm going to photograph Kent Falls in Connecticut on a beautiful autumn morning. Let's get started. Well, good morning. We are getting close to peak foliage season in Connecticut, and I didn't decide actually, I just was up at about 4 in the morning. I said, you know what? Colors might be good, I should get out and do some shooting. So I drove up to Kent Falls. It's a state park, a series of waterfalls. I've shot them before, but I missed peak colors that year. So I'm gonna come back and see if I can get some colors, get some great waterfall shots, and create some nice images. I just gotta hike a little bit. Well, Kent Falls is actually a series of falls, kind of the upper, couple of middle falls and the lower falls. I'm at one of the middle falls, I think anyway, and you can see the water is really not rushing. We had a lot of rain last week, but there was a drought this summer, so really not a great flow of water. Still kind of pretty. The water kind of carves its way through these rocks. And luckily there's kind of a viewing platform you can see I'm standing on. So I've got a pretty good vantage point. I'm using my 24-70 lens and trying to frame this as well as I can with getting some leaves in the pictures because it is pretty colorful. Let me just get all my settings right. I'll talk about them in a second and click off some shots. Well, when you are shooting waterfalls, it usually helps quite a bit to use a somewhat long exposure. It doesn't have to be 30 seconds or 20 seconds. Usually 1 or 2 seconds works because that water is moving pretty quickly. With a long exposure, you get that smoothed out effect, which adds to the ambiance. So I'm actually going out 5 seconds because it is kind of dark. I'm at about f7 and ISO 100. And it's working pretty well. I'm getting a good exposure. Get some shots here. I'll keep working my way up and then down as well. Well, I think I got some shots here. I'm going to make my way up the falls. Luckily, there's a very safe paved path with steps and a railing, so I'm not going to get hurt, hopefully, and see what I can see on the next level up. Well, there's a little falls here in the middle that, again, I think if the water was a little higher, it would be more dramatic, but I still might get something. I may set up over here. I may have to stand in the water, I'm not sure. Down there, I should say, sorry. And try to get these falls back here. If I use a very long exposure, these leaves that are moving slowly will be streaks in the frame. So I may have to put an ND filter on, but let's see what I can do. Well, it's dark enough that I could go out to 30 seconds by going down to ISO 64 and I'm at f22, which really shuts down that aperture. And again, 30 seconds is working pretty well. I'm getting a nice swirl with these leaves. I think I might use my wider lens though. Get up a little bit higher, get some of this foreground in and the background. So I'm gonna use my 16 to 35 lens, go to 16 millimeters, probably put my ND filter on and maybe go to a minute and a half. I'm hoping that nails the image. I'm here, I might as well try something else. Well, I had put on a 6-stop filter to darken things to allow for a longer exposure. Maybe it was a 3-stop filter, excuse me. But it's getting brighter. I'm gonna go out even longer, like maybe 2 minutes. So I put my 10-stop filter on, which is, you can't even see through, it's really dark. And so I'm set for now a 2-minute exposure, and we'll see. Those leaves in the foreground will really be a nice swirl. And I'm trying to get an angle where the water's a little darker here, so the leaves pop more. So I'm just playing around with composition here. I don't mind sitting at the same spot for 45 minutes to get the shot. Well, I am just playing around with exposures. I just did 2.5 minutes and it was pretty good. A little dark. I could brighten that up in post, but while I'm here, I'll try a 3-minute exposure just to see how it comes out. That might be kind of the perfect exposure time. We'll see. Well, I think I got a good shot there. You've seen it already. I hope you like it. I hope I like it when I see it on the computer. Sometimes you never know, but I think it's good. And I think the light, actually, the way the light is hitting some of the rocks in that image, I think was pretty good. Anyway, I'm just gonna walk closer to those falls I was just looking at. Maybe use a wide angle lens. I'm not sure that's a proper composition I can come up with, but again, I'm right here, I might as well check it out. Well, I am at the top of the falls now. And this is the biggest waterfall of the series. Hard to get a great vantage point. I could probably hike down to the bottom, but I'd be looking straight up at the falls. So I think this is the best place to shoot. And it's actually pretty good. It's getting a little tough now because that sky up there is very bright relative to the falls. So I am taking multiple exposures. Maybe I'll blend them together. Or maybe I'll just allow the sky to get blown out a little bit and create more of an ethereal feel to it. I'll play around with it though, but pretty shot. Well, I climbed down to some of these rocks here to get some of these middle falls kind of head on. And what I'm trying to do here is to catch some of the water in the foreground, the waterfall, and then the leaves up there to make a nice autumn shot. In addition, I gotta be careful here. Literally, I'm on an edge of a cliff here. These flowers in the foreground. I want to get the flowers in the foreground with the waterfall in the background. The problem is the depth of field is going to be too shallow, so I got to have both in focus. What I'm doing is taking 2 shots, one with the flowers in focus, a pretty fast exposure because they're moving, and then one with the waterfall in focus with a longer exposure because I want the smoothness of the water. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to put it up, so if it's a fail, you'll see a fail. But, you know, I'm here, I might as well give it a try. Well, that was a great way to spend an autumn morning. Doesn't get a lot better than that in my book. Hey, if you like this video, it does help the channel just to give me a like. And if you like this kind of content, landscape, cityscape, architecture, fine art stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. And until next time.